Have you ever asked yourself any of these questions? How can I sound like a native English speaker? Or how can I improve my English speaking ability? Or even how can I truly be fluent in English? If so, today's lesson is just for you because I'm going to teach you the two-step formula for actually speaking like an advanced English speaker. I'm Teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. All right, guys, so the formula we are looking at today is 5/3. Again, very simple. Now, the number 5 represents the 5 W's. Now, again, remember in our previous lesson, we went over the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. And we learned how important they are to speaking English well like a native English speaker. So, the number 5 is the first part of our formula for today's lesson. Now, the 5 W's need to be utilized so that we can organize the foundation of our thoughts. And the number 3 is expounding upon your thoughts using 3 details. Now, very quickly, guys, the word expound just means to expand or give more details, okay? So we have 5/3. That's the formula we're looking at, okay? So let's say, for example, someone asks you this question right here. What is your favorite book? Now, guys, this seems like a very simple question. I've asked my students this question before, and their answer was the title of the book, and they stopped. Now, these were students who were in my advanced level classes, but for some reason they weren't able to speak for a long period of time about questions like this. The topics just seemed too simple. So I taught them this method, this formula. So let's see how it would go. So we're starting off with the 5 W's. The first W is who. So for this W, answer the question, who is the author of your favorite book? Well, the author of my favorite book is Francine Rivers. Really quickly, guys, for pronunciation practice, this F sound can be a little bit tricky. So again, after me, F. Very good again, F. Remember the front teeth, your front teeth on your bottom lip. So Francine. Francine. Excellent job. So the author of my favorite book is Francine Rivers. So the who is done. Now moving on to the next W, we have what. Well, for this W, we're going to answer the question, what is the title of your favorite book? Well, the title of my favorite book is Redeeming Love. Now, guys, I'm actually being serious. My favorite book is Redeeming Love. And at the end of this lesson, by the end of this lesson, you will understand so much about this book and why I like it and why it's my favorite, okay? So again, we have who and what taken care of, all right? Moving on to our next W, we have when. So for this W, answer the question, when did you first read your favorite book? So I said in college. I was in college when I first read the book. Now moving on to where. The question is, answer the question, where can you find your favorite book? And I said bookstores. And finally for why. Why is it your favorite book? And I said it's an engaging story. Now guys, if we just stopped here, we would have enough information. I answered who, what, when, where, and why. I answered all of the 5 W's. But remember, at the beginning of this lesson, I said I'm going to teach you the 2-step formula to help you sound like an advanced English speaker, basically improving your fluency. So we have to move on to the next step, number 3 in the formula. So here we go. What we're going to do is now, this is where it gets exciting. So who, remember it's author, Francine Rivers, but now I'm giving 3 details about this author. Well, first, she's American. She writes Christian fiction books, and she writes inspirational romance novels. So guys, you see, I again gave more information or more details about the author. Again, this step is simple because we're just thinking a little bit more deeply about individual pieces of our answer. Now, guys, some of you may want to continue studying these topics with me and learning more with me. I just want to remind you guys that you can join my academy. It's on the bottom right here, the Speak English with Tiffani Academy. Remember, the link is in the description. If you want to continue studying with me and truly improve your English speaking ability, join the academy and I guarantee your English will improve. All right? Okay, so let's go back and learn how we can expand upon the W for what, okay? So redeeming love. All right, it's a love story, Hosea and Gomer, and unconditional love. Now I'm giving you 3 details, but I'll expand upon these details in a second. So again, I mentioned 2 people, Hosea and Gomer, and I mentioned that the story is a love story and it's also about unconditional love, okay? So moving on to the next W, we have when. So we know that it was in college, but it was specifically in my sophomore year. My roommate read it out loud and it was in one weekend. So I can tell you're already getting very curious to know more because I'm just writing the basic details, but I haven't given you my full answer yet. But I know that you're curious to know more. So just wait, it's coming, don't worry. All right, now moving on to where. Remember I said bookstores. So we can say online bookstores, Amazon, and Barnes and Noble. Now, really quickly, guys, I'm sure you've heard of Amazon, but Barnes & Noble was a very popular bookstore. I said was because these days it's not as popular, but you can find them still. Barnes & Noble is the name of a popular bookstore, okay? All right, so I mentioned 3 different bookstores that you can find this book in. Now, finally, we have to go to the why. So moving on to the why. I said it's an engaging story. More details. It shows the process of falling in love. It's emotional, and it has a great plot. Now, remember, guys, the word plot just refers to storyline, okay? Taking you through a story, all right? So, now remember at the beginning, I said I was going to teach you the formula, but also how to use the formula to practice. So now I'm going to show you how in your notebook, okay? Before we get to the compilation or the organization of all of this information into our answer, I want to show you what you can do in your notebooks, okay? So when you're at home, you're going to have your own notebook, all right? So this is what your notebook looks like. So again, for the who, we have Francine Rivers, detail 1, detail 2, and detail 3. You'll see that I've written them in. This is what your notebook is going to look like as you practice, depending on the question that you're asked. For what? Redeeming love, and I wrote down all of the information in my notebook like this, going on to the when, going on to the where, and then even going on to the why. This is how you need to set up your notebooks when you're practicing, okay? So for every question that you're looking at, every topic, I want you to do this in your notebook, having the 5 W's and then 3 details for each W. And now we're going to see what my answer looks like. Here we go. So after compiling all of this information, this is what my answer looks like. You see it's very long. So here we go. My favorite book is Redeeming Love. Check. You see that's the what. It is a love story that shows what unconditional love truly looks like in a relationship, and it is based on the biblical story of Hosea and Gomer. All 3 details have been taken care of. So guys, you see what happened? I'm only in the first W and already the answer sounds like an advanced English speaker. That's why I'm telling you, if you guys use this formula, I guarantee your English is going to improve and people are going to be impressed, okay? So let's keep going. All right, so the next W, moving forward. Now we move on to the next part. We're still in my answer. The book was written by an American author named Francine Rivers. She writes Christian fiction books and is also known for writing inspirational romance novels. Again, we've answered the 3 details. We've put those in our answer. American, writes Christian fiction books, and writes inspirational romance novels. Again, guys, you're noticing that I'm including all of the information as I'm giving my answer or my response to the question, okay? So again, we've answered the who and we've also answered the what. So let's keep going. Now we move on. I first read this book when I was in college during my sophomore year. My roommate told me about the book and encouraged me to check it out. Let's pause real quick. This expression, check it out. Again, check it out. Very good. So when we say check something out, it means to look into something or to find out more information about something or to actually, she's telling me about a book, so I'm going to actually read the book, okay? So in English, we say check something out. An excellent expression for you guys to know, all right? Okay, going back to my answer, here we go. So one weekend, she decided to read it out loud to me. The book was so good that I ended up sitting and listening to her read it to me throughout the night. Again, I answered all three details by giving them in my answer here. Sophomore year, roommate read it out loud in one weekend. So you're getting so much information about my favorite book because I'm answering each of the 5 W's, and I've also given my 3 W's, the 3 details actually. Okay, I've given my 3 details. So here we go, moving on. Now we're moving on to the next W. Ever since then, I have been telling everyone about this book. The story is engaging because it shows the reader the process of falling in love. It is emotional and it has a great plot. So right there, I answered the why. It's an engaging story, and you'll see my 3 details: the process of falling in love, emotional, and great plot. Now, guys, one thing I always told my students when I taught them this in class was, if you guys literally organize your thoughts first and have your 5 W's with your 3 details, when you give your answer, you won't be stressed because your thoughts are already organized. So when your answer comes out, you will sound even more fluent. And that's what's going to happen to you if you follow this simple 2-step formula, okay? All right, so going back, we have one more W to answer, okay? All right, so going back to my screen, here we go, the last W. The book is quite popular, so you can find it at any bookstore. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, on Amazon, or from other online bookstores. Again, we answered the where, bookstores, and the 3 details, online bookstores, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble. Okay, guys, so you see, again, I answered all of the 5 W's, the first part of the formula, then I gave 3 details for each of those 5 W's, okay? So again, this is all that you have to do in order to give an advanced English speaker's answer. You can sound fluent if you follow this formula, okay? So guys, don't forget that in your notebook, you need to have it like this, using this formula: who, what, when, where, and why for the 5, and then 3 details underneath each of the W's. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. I was so excited to teach you this lesson because I know how powerful this 2-step formula is, the 5 W's and the 3 details. If you follow this formula and practice using your notebook, I guarantee your fluency will improve. Now, guys, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to keep studying with me, remember you can join the Speak English with Tiffani Academy. You'll see it on the screen, or you can click the link in the description. I really want to teach you guys even more formulas and even help you even more to improve your English speaking abilities. Also, if you want to download the PDF that goes along with this lesson, it's on the screen and you can click the link in the description. I will talk to you guys next time, but as always, remember to speak English.